enormous. I fitted into the normality, just like the soldiers. And then I had this sudden rush of inexplicable anger. But those soldiers, they look more at home here than me, and this is my country. What was I saying? And then I started to laugh to myself. You know, Jerry, if my wife could see me now, she'd have a fit. Yeah, I've never been up here before in my life. Well, I've never been where you live in my life. Funny, isn't it? Yeah. Weird. And we drove in silence. What could we say? Funny, weird. That's what was said. What could we say? Two men who had worked together for 15 years, who met on the golf course. And yet we were two total strangers. Funny. Weird. Do you want to come in here for a beer, can I? Ah, great, Jerry. I had pictured Jerry's house in my head. Well, it couldn't be up to much, I thought. He did live in West Belfast. And we had grown up with the pictures of filth and deprivation and graffiti and too many kids and not enough soap. Well, there it was. Bigger than mine. It was detached for the garage. And the lawn was strewn with bicycles and scooters and toy tractors and life. Not like ours. Manicured to the last blade. Well, the unwritten rule in our house: bicycles and scooters forbidden, except on the concrete provided. Cold grey concrete, especially laid so the kids wouldn't ruin the grass. The grass was for show. Concrete can be scrubbed clean now. And inside Jerry's house was a whole life I have never known. A life of disorder. Books upside down in the bookshelves. Not in size or shape or colour. Well, in our house, only properly bound books went on show. Deborah's order from the book club. Burgundy leather-bound classics. Never read. Unopened. But to suit the bookshelves, to match the wallpaper, to blend in with the carpet. Books that can never be allowed to vary. Just like the fitted kitchens, eh? I once tried to order a couple of paperbacks from the book club. Stephen King's. And Deborah said, "Oh no, Kenneth. We're not going to spend all that money on something that would have to be hidden away." And I accepted that. Of course I accepted it. And then there they were in Jerry's house. Piles and piles of books. Books that looked red, had dog ears. Books of all shapes and sizes. And I was jealous of Jerry and his disordered life. And all of his higgledy-piggledy books. I'm afraid I can't offer you anything to eat tonight, can I? I'll have to get my own, and I'm sure you don't want to wait around while I set fire to it. Is your wife not here tonight then, Jerry? No, she's left me a note here on the kitchen table. She's taken a notion to take the kids to the pictures. I'll have to get my own tea. What freedom! Wonderful unpredictability! And then at the bottom of the note, which I strained my eyes to see, which Jerry didn't bother to read out, "Love you." A note from his wife that he sees every day, every night. The mother of his 5 kids. "Love you." Why should Jerry bother to read that out, huh? I mean, that's a fact. It's unspoken. It's taken as read. But she still writes it. Just to make sure that Jerry knows. think Jerry does. That's why Jerry will never need to get accepted into the golf club. Because Jerry is loved by his wife. He still tells him. Oh, bugger, eh? Where did that all go wrong for me, mate? Where? Why? Why? I drank the beer and I left. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to be there when Deborah got back from aerobics. The woman that I had fallen in love with had vanished into the perfect 10 by 10 square of art designed life, bound to the burgundy unopened classics and the scrubbed concrete. And me, the man she had fallen in love with, tied to loyalty and order and delight. Are you from the branch, mister? What? Are you looking for touts or something? I had driven from Jerry's house to East Belfast, to the house where I was born, where I had lived, until my mother and father could escape from the smell of poverty and people just like themselves. Striving for the day when they could move and close their door at all. Saving for the day when they could get Venetian blinds. So that they could close them and nobody could ever look in on their lives or judge them ever again. Oh, they could judge Jerry and his kind from behind the secrecy of the blinds. Bicycles and scooters scattered over the lawn, that meant slovenliness. A pile of jumbled up books meant no pride or dignity in your lives. And a wife that said, cook your own tea. That meant low life at its lowest. And all of this meant second class, filth, scum, hate. And I grew up believing that. The kid had wheeled his bicycle up to the driver's window, and he was leaning it himself against the car and poking his wee face in at mine. No, not the branch. I used to live around here. Number 34. Well, if you're not the branch, what are you doing around here? Just thinking. Do you live around here? What? Over there. My dad was born in this street, you know, so was his ma. Oh, what's your dad's name? He's dead. Sorry, son. My dad's a hero. He got killed trying to blow up a Fenian pub. See, when I'm his age, I'm not going to get killed. I'm not going to miss some that. What was your dad's name? Norman Dawson. His photo's up on the wall of the club. He's dead famous. Have you any money on you, mister? Gave him 50 pence and I left. This time just driving away. I had to get away. I had to get away out into the countryside, away from people and their lives. I had to think. I had to think about Norman Dawson. Dead. Famous. I sat looking into the River Lagan and I thought of Norman Dawson. And I knew I couldn't go on pretending that I lived in the middle of England. The river was dark and slimy. I tried to see the bottom of it, but years of silt, moss, pollution made it impossible. Maybe one time it was clear, crystal clear. But never again. Me and Norman were mates. Norman wanted to be a soldier, join the army. He was obsessed with killing Indians. I was always a sheriff. I enjoyed locking them up and torturing them. Norman always wanted them dead. One day they stopped being Indians and they became Fenians. And Norman stopped being a cowboy and he became a UDA commander in his dad's combat jacket. And I became a special branch man in my dad's sunglasses. We would play in Norman's house. His dad would laugh and encourage us. Here, how many Fenians you kill a day, Norman, son? Thousands, so I did that. Dead on, son. I tortured him, so I did, Mr. Dawson. I give him some shit. Here, shut up that bad talk, you'll tell your man you. give him some jip. And then I tortured him. We used to camp in his ma's backyard, 2 feet away from the outside toilet. We used to lie there, side by side. I knew every freckle on Norman's face, every blackhead on his nose. We used to count them when we were bored, waiting for a day. Maybe Norman was just waiting for the day when he really could have somebody to kill his day. Norman wasn't a freak. He wasn't a loner, a nutter. His photograph is up on the wall of the club. And all the other Norman Dawsons who do it and get away with it, they're hailed and they become heroes. Was I saved from being Norman Dawson? Just by moving away? The respectability, a couple of exams and a job that Norman had? Were we that different? I mean, I believed the same as Norman, but we were civilised. We just couldn't dirty our hands killing Fenians. So we let Norman Dawson do it for us. And then we tutted in disgust and scurried back into the 10x10s, and we never thought of Norman Dawson or his victims ever again. You're home late tonight, Kenneth. Yeah, I gave Jerry a lift home and went in and had a few beers with him. You did what? You heard. I knew why he's going away up there. What was his house like? Oh, big. Big? How big? Like, big as this? Bigger. Bigger? What do you mean? Detached? Yeah. I wonder how they managed that. What was his wife like? Oh, she wasn't in. She took a notion to take the kids to pictures. Left him a note. Told him to get his own tea. Typical. I'm sure he's well used to that sort of behaviour. Yeah, Deborah. I think he is. Disgusting. After a man does a day's work. Was it tidy? No, Deborah. It wasn't tidy. You see. They drag themselves out of the gutter, and then when they do get good houses, they let them go to rack and ruin. Well, is it any wonder, Kenneth? Is what any wonder, Deborah? Is it any wonder that they don't deserve anything? Don't mind, Deborah. I think I'll go and cut the lawn before it gets dark. I hated her. I hated my wife so much. Because she echoed what I had always thought. So I hated myself. Up to that night in November, I had put up on myself. I had accepted myself. And what does a man do when he loathes himself? To see me, Jerry? Ah, Kenneth, yes, come in. Yeah, look, I've been a bit worried about you, Kenneth. Well, you've been looking terrible this past while back. Well, no, I'm all right, Jerry. Honest. You can talk to me, you know that, Kenneth. Only Jerry knew how much I wanted to talk to him. But years of training, of keeping yourself to yourself, is a hard habit to break. It's nothing, Jerry. I mean, work gets you down sometimes too, doesn't it? I know what you mean. Sure, you'll be getting your holidays soon, Kenneth. Are you going anywhere? Yeah, Deborah's mother's caravan in Ballyhalbert. We go every year. Oh, that sounds nice. Are you going anywhere yourself, Jerry? Why? America. I can hardly wait to tell you, I'm counting the days. America? Man, the World Cup. Ireland's playing, remember? Oh, they'll say there won't be an American accent I heard in New York the week of the matches. It's going to be like the Pope's visit. We heard the Pope. But then I'm sure Ballyhalbert will be good crack too. It'll cost you a packet, Jerry. Oh no, my wife's sister lives in New York, so we've got somewhere to stay. Is your wife going too? That was her idea. Oh, she's mad. I kept telling her I can't afford it, but she ignores me. Next thing I know, she has the tickets booked and the kids arranged to stay with her mother. We were going to change the car, but she said, "The hell with it, where's the crack in that?" Does your wife like football, Jerry? Not at all, she can't stand it. She just wants to see Ireland winning. She couldn't care less if it was bobsleighing. Just as long as Ireland won, she was there to cheer. Jerry, you never liked the football, the crack is going to be something else. Yeah. And then just out of the blue, I asked him, "Jerry, why do you still live up there?" What? Oh, you don't think I'd be nosy or anything? It's just that, well, it's been on my mind. I mean, well, like the place is crawling with soldiers. Oh, you mean, why did I not just buy myself out when I had the chance? Well, I suppose I feel safe up there, Kent. And I'm not sure I would anywhere else. And I like the people. Oh, I know it's not ideal going to work in the morning and tripping over two squatties crouched in your driveway. And then you see your kids running past them munching their toast. Sometimes, when I see those scared eyes looking up at me, I want to say, look, this is bloody ridiculous. Will you come out from underneath my rhododendron bushes? They're bright lilac and you're dressed in khaki. You know that they have been told that we're the enemy. There's no point wasting your brain. You know, you should think I'd stop seeing them after a while. You know, like living beside a railway line, you stop hearing the trains. But I still see them. Thank God. Thank God. I suppose when I stop seeing them, it'll mean that. Oh, here, Kenneth, it's all right, Terry. Thanks. And, you know, thanks. I went back to my desk and I thought, yeah, perhaps those squatties underneath his rhododendron bushes are ridiculous. How can I say that to anybody I knew? And then I started to feel envious of Jerry. Envious that he had the freedom to support Ireland. And I was jealous of that freedom. Jealous that he had something that he believed in. I live in the same country and I'm scared to say I envy him. For me it's dangerous talk. For him it's just wild and wonderful crack. I started to watch the news. I wanted to know what was happening. Every night there was speculation on this Downing Street declaration. But what was this? Possible peace? Possible hope? Possible change? Could it be? Would it be? And then the Hoover would go on. She always put the Hoover on when politics were mentioned. Look, the news is on and the floor's not even dirty. She can't hear me, the Hoover's on. It was always like that when I was growing up as a kid. Anytime the news come on, my ma used to grab for the brush. Automatic reaction, keep brushing, keep cleaning, keep your head down, don't listen, everything will be all right. We have been protected by dusters and Hoovers and brushes. Kenneth, you're in a world of your own sitting there. Will you put the crisps in the bowls? I have these bonbons to fill. My God, that's them, and I'm not prepared. Oh, I hate that. It's all your fault, sitting there doing nothing. Oh, look at the state of the place, and I'm a right mess. Deborah, there is not a hair out of place. There's not a speck of dust that hasn't been exterminated. Everything is shining. What the hell are you talking about? I still have my flippin' slippers on, don't I? Take them off, for Christ's sake. Ding dong. And that'll be Stuart and Pauline, and she'll see that you're not ready. She'll see you standing there with crisps in your hands, and she'll know that we're not prepared, and she will love it. So where the hell do we have friends like Stuart and Pauline? The judges are really not money for the crisps into the bowls. You're standing at the door. And don't you dare let her come into this kitchen. Oh, welcome. Do come in. Sorry we're not quite prepared. Deborah's just putting the finishing touches to things. I was engrossed in the news. Yes, sir. Sorry we're not quite ready. Well, haven't seen you two since the declaration. What do you think, Pauline? What? The declaration, you know, the Downing Street declaration. The peace process everybody's talking about. Well, what do you think? What? Don't be talking to Pauline about politics, Kenny. She hasn't got a clue. Oh, but I do have a clue, Stuart. And I know that they can declare all they want, but it smacks of sellout to me. And our politicians would never allow that to happen. So it's a pointless exercise. But enough of all that. Look, we are here to enjoy ourselves. No. Kenneth, I have a little present for you because I know that this little celebration isn't just to mark your birthday. It's also to mark the fact that you have managed to get into the golf club. So I thought I would mark it with these. Stuart. I held them, speechless. I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. There they were before my eyes. A set of club covers with pom-poms on. Red, white and blue. Golf club helmets to keep my golf clubs warm. Each little pom-pom finished off with exact rounded fringed edges. Each little fringe exactly the same length as the next. Thousands of them. This must have taken up Pauline's mother's whole week. Terrific, Pauline, just what I wanted. Condoms for my golf club. Yeah, I was getting a bit worried about my 8-iron and my putter out there in the green. I was getting a bit too close for comfort. I said to them, I no hanky-panky, you two, unless it's the same sex. Well, we don't want wee putters running about now, do we? She wasn't amused. Stuart was, though. He likes a dirty joke. He called me aside to tell me another one. Here, Karen. Do you hear the one about the two nuns in the bath? One says, where's the soap? And the other one says, it does, doesn't it? And then out of the corner of my eye, I see Pauline dart into the kitchen to wallow in my wife's unforgivable crime of failing to fill her vol-au-vents with mushrooms before 8 o'clock. And I thought to myself, tonight, Karen, tonight, you might as well be hung for a sheep as a mushroom. Welcome. Do come in, everybody. Yeah, come on ahead. Glad you could join me. Yeah, help me celebrate. 34 years of being an asshole. Then I am in the right company, aren't I? Laughs all around. They don't think I'm serious. I would like to ask you if any of you were embarrassed by the football match that took place between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Confused looks all around. No, I bet you probably didn't take it under your nose. I mean, why should any of us be interested or concerned that Ireland are through to the World Cup? Well, most of us here aren't really interested in football, are we? More laughs. Polite, but slightly nervous. Well, let me tell you what you missed. Because it was one of those nights that is hard to forget. Deborah's vol-au-vent has stopped in midair. Yes, we're all respectable people in this room, and I'm sure if you witnessed what I witnessed, heard what I heard, you would be as ashamed as me. Of course you would. Nobody's laughing now. Dry, embarrassed coughs, and shuffling from foot to foot, hands reaching for crisps in an attempt to appear casual. A crisp falls on the floor. Deborah clocks it. It's going back behind. Yes, you would have all tutted at this disgusting and ugly display of bigotry. You might even have been a bit embarrassed. But were you ashamed? No, I didn't think so. Is that because we can ignore those nasty lowlifes as not being a part of us? And what? We vote for the men who feed the bigotry, the hatred. Why do we throw our hands up in horror when we hear of another loyalist murder committed by the men who fight and kill for Ulster? Don't we share with them Lord Carson's legacy? I mean, don't we still believe that this is ours? I mean, this is our state, and we must never give an inch. And don't they believe like us that we have to keep the dirty fiends down? Oh, it's all right not to employ them. All right not to let them into the golf club. All right to screw up their benefits. But what do you do if you don't have the luxury of discriminating nicely and cleanly? What do you do if you're a nobody and you still want to be part of Carson's great army? And I'll tell you, you do what my friend Norman Dawson did. She tried to wipe them out in the only way you know how. What are you looking so horrified for? Are you horrified that you might be compared to the ugly, bloodthirsty barbarians? Aren't they carrying out Carson's orders? Aren't they defending the legacy? A legacy that left them nothing. They're defending it for us, so we can sit back and enjoy it. So come on, let's have the decency to support them. But if you can't, then for Christ's sake, let's come out and have the balls to condemn them. And condemn not just what they do, but why they're doing it. The silence was unbearable. I I could feel a pair of eyes boring into me. Cold, hard eyes that froze me to the spot. Felt like I was jammed in the pupils. And that if they blinked, I'd be pulverised. I was blind. You are British, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Polly, you are dead fucking right. I am! Needless to say, after that terrible night in April, we had very few phone calls from our friends. Word travelled fast that Kenneth had lost his marbles, and that he was being brainwashed by Catholic workers in the DHSS. I still checked underneath my car, and I was more afraid of my own people. Deborah and I, we barely spoke, and what a strange sight of each other. I suppose they find something. The price of beer, the weather. And those things are just a bit ridiculous when the strangers are living in the same house, sharing the same bed, the same children. I had gone too far, said too much. I am British, and I should be ashamed of myself. So here I am, on the island of Ireland, and told to be ashamed for questioning our right to hate. It's like we are living in the top of a bloody great house, and we think we have got the best room. So we'll keep ourselves locked in. We won't open the door, even to let in fresh air. And the air in the room is stale. Can we breathe this air? Decade after decade, year after year, day after day, it's stale air. But we are safe in stale air. Your golf club fees are due, Kenneth. Don't forget. This was how we continued our lives. We spoke when necessary. We exchanged relevant information. We talked a lot to the kids to cover the silences. And at night, the unwritten rule. Whoever goes to bed last, make sure that the other one's asleep before entering. This way it was bearable. This wasn't just an ordinary marital argument that could be patched up in a day or two when the heat died down. No, this was beyond patching. This was obsolete. I just couldn't bear to deal with it. Jerry was full of chat one day at work. Only 2 weeks to go, Kenneth, eh? New York, here we come. Ole, 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 ole. Yeah, great, Jerry. They say there's going to be 20 jumbo jets leaving Dublin Airport that day. They reckon there were more people leaving Ireland that day than did during the famine. There's going to be one big party from start to finish. I can't wait. What if they don't win? He says, why did that ever stop us having a party, eh? The attitude will be, we didn't win, we could have. So let's have a party to celebrate the fact that we could have won if we hadn't lost. Know what I mean? I wish Jerry wouldn't keep going on about America. I can't bear it. Your golf club fees are a week late, Kenneth. Yeah, Deborah, I'm going to pay them soon. I don't know why you're leaving it so long. It's not as if the money's not there in the bank. Deborah, I do get a month to pay it from the date of the invoice. Well, I don't want them to think that we don't have the money, or that we've had to borrow it. Deborah, look, I'm sure the accountant isn't sitting in his office thinking, oh dear, we shouldn't have accepted Kenneth. Obviously, Kenneth is in financial difficulty. A lot of the right stuff to be a part of us. Deborah, do you not know? Did nobody ever tell you that people who have money have it because they hang on to it? Well, just pay it, because I'm not going to relax until you do. All right, I'm going to pay it right now. I drove past the golf club. In fact, I drove past the golf club 5 times. And on the 5th time, I drove home. She was at aerobics. The kids were at their grannies. This gave me peace to work it out. Peace to work out the most exciting, crazy, mad, outrageous thing I'd ever done in my life. I had £400. They were the half-year fees of the golf club. I had £100 of electricity shares that my mother had bought me for Christmas, and they were worth £300 now. And that was £600. That wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Christ, there must be something else that I could sell. The golf clubs. Well, they would be worth at least £200, and I knew somebody at work who was looking for a set. Well, that would be £800. That would be enough. That would be just enough. Every morning I woke up and I lay for 5 minutes asking myself, are you sure you know what you're doing? Are you absolutely sure you know what you're doing? And every morning the answer was always the same. Too bloody right I do. In fact, I can't wait. Everything worked out so smoothly. I sold the golf clubs. And I threw in the bag in the trolley that Isabel and Ernie had bought me. And the helmets that Pauline had given me. £300. And the electricity shares were wee buns. And nobody knew a thing. It was then I knew that what I was doing must be destiny. The night before, I could barely contain myself. But I knew I mustn't show any signs of unusual behaviour. I would fake falling asleep on the settee, and as usual, Deborah would leave me there and go on to bed. But tonight, I wasn't asleep. At lunchtime, I'd slipped out of work, and I'd packed a small suitcase and hidden it in the car. And then I just sat in the silence, watching the clock. I never doubted for 1 minute what I was going to do. At 6 o'clock in the morning exactly, I slipped out of the house and into the car. And as I was driving along, I felt like I was a car with no brakes, speeding along, but not the disaster. I was like that car in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You know when I got to the edge of the cliff and took wings? That was me. I drove across the border for the first time in my life. It just never occurred to me to do it before. You see, we had always been taught to be afraid. To be afraid of the black magic, the dark evil, the mysterious jiggery popery that would brainwash us. What is that? I mean, is that what our leaders are really afraid of? Or is it that they think if the tables were turned, we would be treated the same way as we have treated the Taigs, and we would be the second-class citizen? That's probably part of it too. What they fear is the retribution. I mean, they say that they're God-fearing men. What they fear is their own judgment, their own behaviour, just staring them in the face. Dublin Airport, 10 kilometres. Taylor Bullshit. No phone, no crew, no pets. Ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing blow. Buys an 8 for 10 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means, by no means. I drove into the car park. It was a sight that I will never forget as long as I live. The whole airport had been taken over by a green, white and orange army. And there was check-ins going on in the car park. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, people were singing and dancing. 9 o'clock in the morning, they were singing. Ole, ole, we're on our way. We're on our way to the USA. Ole, ole, we're on our way. We're on our way to the USA. started to laugh at my outburst, though not in a mocking way. Just like they understood how I was feeling. You see, everybody had a right to be happy that morning. Everybody had their own story of how they got to be here. But at this moment in time, we were all the lads. It felt great. People with hats and streamers, and silly wigs and painted faces, and I was part of this. If only Pauline could see me now. I looked at myself. I stood out in all these thousands like a sore thumb. I was dressed like this. I looked a real plonker. I looked more like the airport security. That's probably why they were laughing at me. And then I noticed a man standing by himself. He was 50 if he was a day, and he had the look of respectability about him. He was just smiling quietly. But he looked as uncomfortable in his World Cup t-shirt and his shorts and his silly hat as I did in my British Home Stores menswear gear. But like me, he had the look of him of a man who was about to be set free. We clocked each other and smiled. Where do you get the t-shirts, mate? What? Sure, the whole country is swamped with it. Where have you been? I'm from Belfast. Ah, now that explains it. Here. And he opened his bag and he rummaged about inside it. And he gave me a t-shirt. And he said, here, will you put this on for Jesus' sake? You look more like a man from the welfare. And I laughed. Because it was. That's exactly what it was. But I wasn't going to tell him that. Thanks, mate. How much do I owe you for the t-shirt? Oh, that's all right. If you bump into me in New York, sure, you can always buy me a drink. Right. Right, yes. I'll do that. Thanks, mate. Thanks. And I stripped off my shirt and my tie and my jacket right there in the car park. And I put on the t-shirt that the man had given to me. Me in a t-shirt with a tricolour on it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Me and the man that gave me the t-shirt, we made our way through the crowds to the terminal building. Jesus, isn't this the business? Isn't this what life is all about? Christ, would you look at us? I bet you there's more borrowed money here than it took to crash Wall Street. You know, if I hadn't done this, I think I'd have regretted it for the rest of my life. How much did you pay for your match ticket? Oh, I haven't got that yet. I'm going to get that once I'm out there. Are you crazy or what? I'm not ever selling for hundreds of dollars now. You've no chance. Oh, I felt a double plonker. Look, if we get split up, meet me tonight in Eamon Doran's bar. I'm meeting up there with some of the lads. We'll see if we can't get you sorted out or something. I don't promise you anything now, but where do you stay? Well, how much actually? Oh, Jesus, you're well organised, eh? Nothing like a rent man. No match ticket, nowhere to stay. What are you thinking of? Well, I'm from here on. I was going to New York, and I never thought further than that. Oh, I know what you mean. 2 days ago, I was sitting in the office, looking out the window at the rain, trussed up in a suit and tie. And I was surrounded by more robots in suits and ties. And as I looked out the window at the travel agents across the street, 2 lads came bouncing out in the team colours, singing and cavorting and waving their match tickets. And I thought to myself, excuse the language, but I thought to myself, fuck it. And I just picked up my briefcase and I said to my secretary, I'll see you when I see you. I'm going to New York to watch Ireland win the World Cup. And here I am, on my way to the USA. That's just what I said. But I just said, fuck it. My name you floor to crash on. You know, I haven't crashed on the floor since I was a student. And you know what? I'm looking forward to it. Me too. My name's Kenneth. No problem. Kenneth. Thanks. Nick. And as I walked across the tarmac, my feet weren't even touching the ground. Don't look back, Kenneth. Don't look back. You've got this far. Once you're on that DubbelJoint, you can't get off. So don't have any last-minute twangs on conscience, because if you've just won, you're sunk. And as I walked towards the flight, I knew it could go either way. So I said to myself, leave it to fate, Kenneth. Leave it to the gods. Wait till you get to that last step and let them decide. Because at this moment in time, Kenneth, you are not of sound mind. You have no responsibility for yourself. And I loved it. And I got to the top step, and the flight attendant said, "Good morning." And I stopped, and I turned, and the man behind me, he moved, as if to let me wave to my loved ones in the viewing gallery. And I started back down. I started back down the gangway. And then fate, or the gods, or whoever, well, they must have said to themselves, "Fuck it!" And I laughed and I waved. And I turned back into the unknown. And I knew then that now there was no turning back for Kenneth Norman McCallister. For now I really was one of the lads. The wife. What? It was the fella behind me. I was still laughing. What? Are you waving to the wife? No, just somebody I knew. Kenneth, his name was. Oh, my wife thinks I've gone to Lockdale. That's why I have my face painted in me wig. Heads of cock with a camera, bleeding RTE are everywhere. Ah, what about you there, Peter? Will you piss off? And another one he picks up. Oh, my wife thinks I've gone fishing in Donegal. I told me bank manager I was building a garage. Told me boss I was going to me granny's funeral. When I come back, I better have a couple of trout, build a garage and kill me granny. Oh, I'll be all right. We don't get RTE in Belfast. At least not where I come from.
Ah, you're like me. If Ireland win this game on Saturday, I have to come back and pretend I'm not over the bleeding moon.
Oh, do you live in Belfast too?
No, I work for a bleeding Italian restaurant.
And the fella beside me was well gone. He'd already demolished most of the contents of his duty free. Are you from Belfast? Yes, I am. Oh, were you at the park at Windsor match? I mean, we had the match at Windsor Park. Yes, I was. You see, he was talking to me as he was trying to put half of his seatbelt under the other half of mine. You see? You see, you Belfast then. I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you stood in that Windsor Park and you took what you had to take. See me?
I'm a coward. I didn't know.
But you see, you Belfastmen, crushed. I have got to hand it to you. Have a slug of me whiskey, because Jackie's army is proud of you. We're all part of Jackie's army. No, look, you wouldn't have been proud of me. You see, I'm a Protestant. So am I. So was he. What the hell? I'm sure at the end of the day, are we all part of Jackie's army? And I took a slug of his whiskey, and I felt part of Jackie's army too. And then he stopped staring at me. Is there something wrong? Yes, there's something wrong. Come here. What? Are you drinking my whiskey? Are you making love to it? And the flight across the Atlantic with Jackie's army was something that I had never dreamed of. We sang and we drank and we carried on like we'd been told that these were our last hours on the planet. part of Jackie's army now. The cockpit crew, the cabin crew, we were all Irish lads on the way to see our team. Even the pilot was starting sing-songs over the tannoy. And the fella beside me, he wanted to take him up a drink. But we had to draw the line somewhere. And as the plane touched down at JFK, there was this almighty roar of ole, 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 ole. And I briefly checked into my own head, just to see if I could find any last-minute feelings of guilt or remorse or regret. And I couldn't find one. And because I couldn't find feelings like that, I thought I should find feelings that I was selfish, or heartless, or a turncoat, or a traitor, or a Lundy. You know, I knew that I was on a road that had no turnouts or roundabouts or parking laybys, and I had to go on to the end of it. And what happens after that? Who knows? Who knows? And as I carried the fella beside me, me and his mate carried him off. He was so drunk he couldn't remember the second line of ole, ole. I looked at him and said to myself, you're right, mate. Who cares? Because however awful it is when I get to the end of this, I will always have this wonderful memory of being one of the lads! Oh, sorry, mate. I'm in New York. I'm in New York. I'm in New York. I kept saying it over and over to myself. It was just like the TV. I felt like I was part of a film set. There was yellow cabs, noise, Manhattan, and millions of people all talking at once. I took a cab to Eamon Doran's bar to meet Nick. I never doubted for 1 minute that he wouldn't turn up. You see, I was one of the lads. Now, the lads, they all look out for each other. I knew that instinctively. And after 34 years of always looking out for yourself, it's a wonderful, warm feeling of belonging. This bar was just a continuation of the flight. It was wall-to-wall Irishmen in big white gowns, all still singing ole, 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 ole. It was chaos, mayhem. People were making phone calls from numbers that had been given back in Ireland. Somebody might know someone somewhere who might have a floor space that you might be able to crash on. Hello? Hello? I'm saying hello. Hello? My name's Kevin. Yes, you know my cousin, Ravi Hage. Don't you? No, you do. You grew up together. No, before you emigrated. In Cavan, yes. I know that was 35 years ago. I know you were only 5. Yeah, but he said that you said if he was ever in America that he was to give you a car. Well, he's not here. But I am, and I'm his cousin. And, well, he told me to ask you if you might have a floor space that I could crash on. Because, well, you know him, and I'm his cousin, and I'm from Cavan too. Ah, you do! I did! Look, I have a mate. There's a fella here who says he's room for 3 more. It's like these people all knew each other. I suppose that's supposed to go back to the days of the famine. Irish people landing in America for the first time, been herded in the sheds and then sent out into the unknown of a new country looking for work and somewhere to live. Christ, I didn't know I knew that. Suppose the unwritten rule from that day on was the Irish will always have to look out for each other. Even me. Even me, who never considered himself to be an Irishman. In their eyes, I was one. I loved it. Kenny! Nick! Kenny! Nick! It was Nick. Over here. He looked 20 years younger than he'd looked in Dublin Airport. Take this number. You have a floor space for as long as you want. Great, thanks. But look, I go look with your match tickets. But look, some of the lads were saying, well, this stadium's going to be like a chip pan, and well, the crack here's going to be mighty. See, might as well watch it here. Yes, now that's great. That's great. And thank you. Thank you very much for everything you've done for me. As soon as I said it, I knew it sounded like a line from a Helen Steiner Rice Get Well card. Oh, what the hell? And me and Mick and some of the lads, we partied in Eamon Doran's bar until the wee small hours of the morning. And from that day on, he always kept his chickens in the loft. Every so often, I would nip down to the toilets just to look in the mirror to check that it really was me. Hello. And I would run back up the stairs 4 at a time to rejoin my fellow Irishmen at the bar. The next day, the day of the match against Italy, the temperature was something like 98 degrees in the shade. We're all cargo jackets. We're going to the USA. And we'll really shake them up when we win the World Cup. Cause Ireland are the greatest football team. Until I saw some of the ones. And the atmosphere in Eamon Doran's was bloody electric. Men and women buzzing with a kind of excitement that I didn't know it was possible to feel. And the women, they were just as knowledgeable about the team as the men. I mean, women in football, that really did surprise me. On your own, handsome. Standing there like the Tom that got the cat. You mean the cream? Oh, what a stupid thing to say. What? You mean the cat that got the cream? Oh, shut up, Kenneth.